Welcome to Young American Dialogue.
Young American Dialogue, baby.
I'm here today with my partner, Robby Myles-Jones.
What it do?
And my special guest who I grew up with.
And my
I've
cousin.
known since the sixth grade.
Yeah.
The author of the up-and-coming comic, Black Bow, Jamal Dabney. Good to have you, man.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Very good to have you.
Good to be here.
So, yeah, man, big things on the way, dude. You got some things on deck that are really, really interesting. Black Bow, the comic. Let's just start off. Why don't you tell everybody what Black Bow is? I got the link in the description on where to go to see more details. His page is on there. Everybody go over there right now and click the like button on that. Tell us about your inspiration behind it and what made you want to do this and what's going on in the future of that too.
Well, I just starting off, it really because I really wasn't gonna do this at first because I was hearing, being an author just with any book, regardless of comic or a full novel,
right?
It's a lot of work.
Going
through publishing and
a lot of work,
everything like that. So, it started off as a joke. Like I was doing like skits, and then I was joking with my man. It was like this was last year. This was like before the pandemic, and I was like, yo, I'm really gonna start you think I should do it, bro? I'm gonna dress up in the suit and I'm gonna go fight crime. He was like, he said, nah, don't hit. I think
that
he
sounded like you too. That sounded like you.
Nah, I think he thought I was serious, but he was like, nah, definitely do the comic. I don't know about all that.
I don't know about dressing up though. That's funny though.
Yo, for real. Nah, then I actually gave it a thought. I started hitting up some artists on IG. That's a good place to find work, man. If you guys need work for logos, man.
You got a artist IG. Right now you want to shout out?
Artist right now, man. Yo,
I'll throw it up too.
Yeah, man. The people that do my that are working on the comic, man. If y'all got any artwork y'all need or wants things done, man. Macchiato Studios on IG, just like the drink Macchiato. Just spelled the same way.
Macchiato
Studios. They're doing my work. So when this is published, man, go check them out, man, because they're doing crazy work right now. Crazy things. Yeah, man. So I mean, I kind of got the idea for Black Bow, his whole story and everything he got going on with him, due to the recent events. The George Floyd incident. That was something real big that inspired me to kind of make it, because even in that whole tragedy while that shit was going on, we actually were in it. There were riots in every state.
Buffalo was
pretty big. That was crazy, right? So I made it, during that time, man. I'm sitting there, man. I'm seeing they breaking in stores and they setting stuff on fire. I'm like, yo, this remind me of when Batman came back to save Gotham. This really looked like that.
It was the shocking aspect of realizing we might need a savior.
Yeah. Or if you tell them the latest Joker movie, the newest one, when after he I don't know, spoiler alert, Joker, if you didn't see it yet, sorry. But after he shoots the host of that show, and he gets arrested, he's driving in the cop car, and you see mayhem in the city. That's what it was like, dude. I remember I do DoorDash on the side. I like to make a couple extra bucks with DoorDash. I'm driving through the east side down Bailey, and I'm seeing garbage cans everywhere.
It looks third world
all over
compared to what we're used to.
World War II.
People were angry.
Yeah.
Because that George Floyd thing, whatever side of political aspect you're on, that sparked a nerve in America. People were angry about that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what you said. It was your interest. How did it turn into inspiration with Black Bow?
Well, the inspiration with Black Bow, like I told you, I was a big fan of Green Arrow. Green Arrow even more so than Batman. So those two characters kind of put together, in a sense, that's the awesomeness of the Black Bow. You imagine somebody a skill between Batman and the Green Arrow.
Those are the two inspirations.
Yeah. And the vigilante aspect, going after wrongdoing and crooked shit that's really going on.
Right.
That's covered
Justice. That's why they call them the Justice League.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. Black Bow would be a dope addition to the Justice
League. Yeah. Yeah, that would be sweet, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
How does can you give us a little origin story on what you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. So this I haven't even posted this yet, so
Exclusive.
it's crazy, exclusive, right?
Very exclusive.
And it's crazy because
you heard it here first.
It's so right. You heard it here on this show first with my boys. So let me break it down for you real quick, man. Black Bow is the traditional story of most young Black African American people to deal with it. At the same time, it's a traditional, tragic story to any true villain. I mean, any true hero that will go through.
Right.
So, at the age of 10, he witnesses the murder of his older brother by a crooked racist cop.
Mm.
He's murdered and shot down right in front of him, unarmed.
Like a George Zimmerman type of clerk. Like
Same thing like that.
Yeah.
So that's where I got the idea from that from, and I feel as though like witnessing that tragedy would make him want to not only expose or bring the justice people.
Or what was it? Tamir Rice, the little boy playing with the gun in the park.
Yeah, that was one of them. I mean, this happens all the time.
Right. So I think there's definitely once that gets out there in that type of light.
So he witnesses that, right? And he gets inspired that he wants to prevent that from happening again. Right. Or then not even just that, just justice in general for people that need it.
It sparks that need for justice in itself.
Yeah, that becomes his life mission is to become a hero for the little man.
Right. People that
that sounds
can't
so
have their
dope.
voices heard or his heart sticking up for themselves.
That sounds so dope. That's something I would read. I love comics, man.
Yeah,
and that shows a lot about the heart of the author as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man. When it goes down to more about the character, it's gonna start off like your traditional administrator. He's gonna try to get this dude that did this, right?
Right.
So it goes from he doesn't just become the Black Bolt right away. I mean, it takes years after this incident happens. So it takes years upon years for this to actually go down, and him eventually to become the Black Bolt. And it's that was the catalyst, right? That launched him to become the Black Bolt, and witnessing that. Then he goes through, a whole bunch of games, man. I'm telling you, this dude's like Bruce Wayne on steroids. Like, Bruce Wayne, hey, you heard it here first, man. Batman ain't got shit on the Black Bolt. He don't got shit on the Black Bolt.
Y'all heard that here first.
Can you imagine down the road, let's say this thing does blow up, because I think it will. What if DC comes out and says, let's do a Black Bolt versus Batman comic? Like Batman versus Superman type stuff, like two heroes duking it out.
Which is crazy because Batman came along after Superman.
Right.
Superman, the idea for Superman came around like 1935.
Yeah.
And it was brought to life in 1938.
Okay.
Which was that's why I said earlier, like, it's crazy that you had this idea
during crazy times.
Right, because the original idea of Superman was surrounded during the Great Depression.
Mm-hmm.
Which
the guys that made him are from Cleveland too?
Right.
I heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's deep.
And from there, Batman was rivaled, I think, a year and a half to 2 years later, and it originated through DC Comics. Just like Marvel didn't originate as Marvel. Google and drop it in the description or links or comments. What was the original name of the Marvel company?
Oh, man.
You tell me. I'm not going to tell you.
I'm supposed to know that. I create comics. I'm supposed
Don't
to know
tell
that.
the answer until the second part, because we're going to have a break, and then we're going to come back. When we come back, we'll give them the answer. But let's throw in the comments. Let's get the comments going. What is the answer?
Let's see
Someone
what you
out there
think.
knows the answer. Throw that in the comments.
Don't Google it either.
Yeah, just see if you know it. If you don't know it, just wait till the answer comes. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But that's why I said it was such a crazy idea that you made this comic right now, and you created it based on the events of the world, because that's how the original comics were made.
Right.
To grasp the reader and throw them away from a reality that was quite depressing.
You know what though? Every good idea comes from a place of emotion or pain or feeling.
Right.
Every good idea, every good book that's written has some an inspiration from some life experience. You know what I'm saying? That's really what makes good ideas.
Right.
It's experience. Like, nobody just wakes up one day and just thinks of the next comic book hit who has no experience. It doesn't know anything or doesn't have any, it has to come from somewhere. Like, There's nothing new under the
but
sun.
like what you saying that, can I ask for a second right now? Like you didn't just think it. You made this idea, and you are making this idea a reality.
Right,
so to the viewers that are watching right now, is there anything you want to say to somebody who out there are going through something and they felt what you felt during this time that you thought this idea up, and they're scared right now to move forward with how they feel?
Yeah.
Any new entrepreneurs or somebody who is inspired by something but can't step forward, is there something you want to say to them?
Personally, for me, man, it's being one of the main things is first, it's okay to be scared in whatever you're gonna do. This fear is always gonna be present.
Yeah.
But you gotta kick that shit, and you gotta like move, like use that, like, you know, because I was
for motivation.
Yeah, like use that as like a shield, like use that as something that, you know, protect me, like keep kicking.
Right. Inspiration. Right.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, shout out to my boys though. Shout out to my boys. Keep pushing. T-Ferg. See y'all boys. You already know I'm representing the brand.
There you go.
Boom. Give us the link. We'll drop it.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah.
Drop
support,
that link. Yeah.
We got a dope brand. So definitely support them boys. But yeah, man, you gotta keep moving forward, and then if you know, be creative. Try to do things that inspire some forms of creativity, so to take your mind off of what's going on around you.
Yeah.
So that I feel like that's a good
creativity is a lost concept nowadays.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, the best creative ideas for movies or whatever comes from pain too.
Right.
Pain, like joy might give you an idea to write a book about whatever, like to give inspiration or be, you know, inspirational, motivational speaker. But pain really makes a beautiful story.
That reminds me of something his grandmother used to tell me all the time growing up. Is joy comes in the morning.
That's right.
Joy comes in the morning.
That's right, Grandma. Yeah,
that's deep. That's deep. You know,
real wise.
You know, I read a book by Friedrich Nietzsche. This is philosophy.
Oh, here you go. This is
philosophy.
Neal going now.
So it's called Thus Spoke Zarathustra.
Here we go. Right.
It's an old famous book by Friedrich Nietzsche. And in the book, this dude who's a prophet comes down from the mountains and he goes into the city, the village, and he teaches people.
But what was the breakdown in the name?
Zarathustra. Okay,
right.
So the name
Zarathustra.
The name comes from an old Iranian prophet from the religion called Zoroastrianism. This is going back thousands of years. So the author gets the inspiration from
It's gonna tie in.
So what he does is he comes to the world from the Most High, and he comes down and he gives out wisdom, and his wisdom to the people is not what they expect. He tells them that mankind is just a ladder to the Superman. This is where the name Superman comes from. But the word is actually in German, it's Übermensch, right? But it translates as Superman. And he said the concept of Superman is to be the ultimate, greatest person, spiritually, principally, all that, like the best you can be. And what are you? And then he asked the people, "What are you doing?
What are you doing
to push forward the needle of society to make the world a better place? Or are you just sitting there letting everyone else do it and taking stuff from them?" But the Superman goes out and makes the world better and gives people hope and gives people wisdom. That's what this book is so deep. People still read it today, still taught in philosophy classes.
It is.
It had a dark side to it, though. Listen to this, though. The Übermensch in Nazi Germany, they took it to another level. They said Übermensch. Ooh, that means, and they took it to a white supremacist idea of it. They totally took that, like that. That's what I'm saying. Like these deep philosophical, painful ideas and where they come from, it can be a double-edged sword. Because every villain has a backstory too.
Right.
Yeah, made him the way he is.
That's what I'm saying. So, like Nazi Germany, for example, that was a dark place.
Yeah. And it's crazy. Like, this is what I mean by, like, this is why I love conversation. And I don't mean to cut you off. Comic books were the first form of heroes and or military to call out Nazi Germany.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Before the United States even rushed their grounds, Superman fought them in one of his, I think, 40 or something series.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
The
Yeah.
American Superman became the symbol of fighting Nazis and fighting world evil. So like the idea evolved in multiple, like a tree, it branched out in different directions. But like, it's just fascinating to see how people interpret things differently.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Stuff's fascinating.
And Superman, and another aspect of the Superman is like Messiah, the Savior, the big S, the Savior, the one who's coming to save the people.
Right.
So there's an aspect of some religious stuff in there, some spiritual stuff in there. You know what I'm saying?
Most definitely.
It's
but again, like Superman, the reason why it was the S is because the original author felt like the world needed a savior during a time where, I mean, think about what was going on in the Great Depression, dude.
Dark
Very, it was bleak.
Yeah.
Very bleak. You had no hope. So to have somebody who shows up that basically fights for capitalism, he's fighting for the dollar.
Yeah.
So when you have nothing and you got somebody who shows up and fights the criminals that are basically rivaling the fact that you are poor, there's our hope. Wow. There's our savior.
I'm thinking like, because comics is an escape too.
Like movies.
That's another aspect.
Or music.
All types of media, music, movies, comics. It's an escape for somebody. And they find that escape valve, right? They find that outlet of escapism. And it can really bring somebody out of the depths of despair and lift them up.
But
give them a spirit that they never even thought of they had.
Just like you said, it's a double-edged sword. Entertainment can also
be can be used in different areas. It's it's funny that you said that, bringing people out of despair, because if anything in the future, if I get anything away from this, it's like to inspire somebody. Like when I was a kid, it wasn't nothing like this out. Right.
Yeah.
Not to see nothing. The representation you see on TV. Shit. I mean, we grown. We all know what time it is.
Right. I remember when MTV.
Cool.
I remember when MTV told somebody, "We don't want to play. Oh, how come we don't play more black music?" They said, "You only play Michael Jackson and Prince. How come you don't play?" And they named out a bunch of amazing black artists. Yeah. How come you don't play all that? And he said, "Well, what about the family in the Midwest that might get scared when they hear that?" That was just in the '90s.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And now MTV, I'll give them credit. Now they're not like that no more. Now MTV is definitely more inclusive now. But that was not that long.
But that was because, like, and this is to understand, like, and this is why I love having conversations like this.
Yeah.
That's to understand that some companies got to a point in time in which they understood the dollar represented more than the viewer.
Yes. That's a fact. That's
so if now my dollar is being hurt by people who feel like I'm racist, now I have to appear like I am not racist. I need that dollar back.
Yeah, you're right. You know what?
Racism didn't disappear. Racism didn't disappear. It just represented a dollar.
You know what I noticed about a lot of people today? And you hit something that I've been really fascinated by recently. Is that now it's become kind of mainstream to be a social justice warrior.
Right.
So now you got people who come out and say Black Lives Matter.
Follow the dollar.
They want to support the movement.
Follow the dollar.
But do they really live it though? you got people just saying it because it's
trending.
But
again, that's why I love this. We need the hashtag double-edged sword.
Yeah.
Just like I said, follow the dollar. Follow the dollar.
Yeah.
If you really want to understand where some of these people lie, follow what they invest in. Follow where they spend their money. What do they do in their off time?
Who do they hang around with? Do you ever see them?
I mean, you see some of these CEOs and CFOs of these companies and these accountants. The money that they represent is just as dirty as Pablo Escobar.
And I'm not talking about anyone in particular. I'm talking mostly about Hollywood. Hollywood. This is Hollywood. This is the
this is where it gets dark.
Yeah. Because
you can't mention Hollywood to me without talking about them back rooms.
But listen, what we're talking about right now.
We just seen T.I. Let me shut up.
What we're talking about right now.
R. Kelly and Bill Cosby.
Listen, Robby. What we're talking about right now is Hollywood is now taking this whole social justice movement and using it for money, to get the most views, to get the new hit movie, and it's like they're. At the end of the day, is it legit? Is it really sincere? I mean, I guess it's a sign of the times that things are getting better. So I guess it's not as bad as it could be. But it's like, you notice what I'm saying? It's a lot of fake stuff.
But what was Biden just preaching? If you want to know how sincere America is, let's start watching his legislation.
What about that 94 crime bill?
Let's start watching this legislation. Let's see how sincere these people really are.
People haven't forgot about that.
Kamala Harris. Let's see how.
People haven't forgot that.
The thing is, like, and this is what I don't like about the same technology we use to record this off of. I despise it because, and I say that to say this, technology has dumbed us down.
Yeah.
Because things hit us like that.
Yeah.
It didn't used to be we had to read it in the newspaper, maybe see it on the news. It's over our phones now. Yeah, it's on Facebook. It's on Twitter. Yeah.
And it's made into a
But at the same time, the issue is, just as fast as there's one thing, there's another and another and another and another.
Yeah.
So before we can focus on one aspect or issue in our life, there's another one.
Yeah.
And another one. We can't stay focused on one thing long enough to understand that the means need to justify the end.
Right. That's what I'm getting at. It's exactly what I was getting at. I'm glad you brought that up. You finished my thought for me. And you know what, though? I want to bring it back to the whole comic thing, because that's what this is about. Like, we're trying to I should say more you, though. Like, you're trying to
Team Black Bow.
You're trying to put out
hashtag Black Bow, man.
You're putting out an idea, right? And
From
behind that idea is a life experience and a worldview.
Yeah.
And what that's going to do is if people watch it and they like it, you're going to plant some seeds, man. And the generation coming it's going to be part of this cycle. It's going to be part of the collective consciousness of the next generation.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why entertainment is important. It shapes who we are. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, the Bible was the main source of entertainment. Like, go back in like Middle Ages or medieval times. You had the Bible, you had books, there was no TV, there was music. You had to go and actually physically watch somebody with instrument play, and there was a limited scope of ideas getting passed around, right? But it shaped who we are as a people, those things. So, like, that's what I'm saying. It becomes part of who we are. It becomes the fabric of reality gets changed when you come out with an idea like Black Bow, and you're fighting against the bad ideas. So you are a superhero in your own self just by doing it, by making a comment. Like Stan Lee.
Listen.
Stan Lee was a superhero. Stan Lee.
We'll get into that in a minute. But for right now, we're gonna take a quick break.
Okay, let's do that. Right. I don't know about you guys, but I'm stoked to get this comic, dude. I'm gonna buy like 10 copies for myself, just give out to people I know. Let's go back to that though, because we kind of veered and met a bunch of different directions.
We should do like a conglomerate, like shout them out put them in a link every.
Yeah, why not? So listen, what's his name, by the way, Black Bow? What's his real name?
Secret Identity?
Yeah.
Oh.
Secret identity. His name is David Dabb.
David Dabb.
David
That's
Dabb.
That's a good name. That's like a Stan Lee name.
That resonates.
Who is he?
Right.
Where does he? What's his day job like? What's his? How did he
But
become?
first, like, I'd like to know, not to cut you off, where did the identity of David Dabb come from outside of the actual character? What inspired David Dabb? Because you got what inspired Black Bo, but what inspired David Dabb?
Good, yeah, the duality.
Oh yeah, secret identity, day job. You know, everybody has to. What they think with heroes, they have to have something that like ties them to the city.
Right.
You know what? You know, how does he know about what's going on so he can act or he can get to where he needs to get to, right? So, in the world of the Black Bow, it's like I want to say post-apocalyptic. It's basically during a time of turmoil and tribulation.
Like now, like COVID.
Like
right.
a second civil war type.
But you're
So
take it to the nth degree.
Right.
I got
So it's real high time. So you're talking
But we
about.
can relate because we're in COVID times. Like,
Right.
So this is perfect for right now.
And we're on the height of civil issues right now.
Yeah.
And it plays on all of that. So it takes what's going on now, because I said it's inspired by the issues, and it puts it to the forefront. So you're talking about in the world of Black Bolt, you got curfews, right? You got the government,
regulations,
protests, crazy stuff going on.
You guys see his face when he said regulations.
Regulations.
But all of that, you got martial law going on. You got basically the whole, not just
I'd be dead.
Not just his city, right? Not just by the way, the story of the Black Bolt takes place here in Buffalo, New York.
Get out.
But I had to.
Get out.
I had to.
Wait, bro. This has got to
get out. Shout out to 716
Everybody
Buffalo,
has to
New York.
promote this. Everybody has to support this, by the way. Everybody.
For real, facts. The story takes place here, but you know how in most of the comics they have an alternate name, Star City, Gotham City.
Yeah.
Which is probably, everybody knows, that's representing New York City. Right. So I had to, the other name for Buffalo is called Nickel City.
Nickel City.
So the city he saves is Nickel City, right? That's Black Bolt from Nickel City. So, it's a police. The whole country has turned into a police state in the world of the Black Bolt, right?
Wow.
Because of all the riots that started happening through civil unjustice. So
that's the name of this YouTube channel, Neal Sendlak Chronicles.
Yep.
It sounds like the newspaper.
It's energy.
That could be the newspaper.
The newspaper that he gets at the Nickel
podcast, Young American Dialogue.
You gotta do that.
That's fire, bro.
You gotta do that. Oh man,
fire. I like
and that could be like a shout out to like include us in one of your comics.
Bro.
Oh yeah, that's another thing.
I can have you guys like get drawn up like figures.
That's another thing.
Right.
When you make your
characters, when you make your characters, you probably base it on something you know.
Wait, hold up.
The Black Bolt was
that would be a great idea.
Yeah.
You asked how we would come up with like the Batman signal.
Right.
Nickel City Chronicles shouts them out and has secret anagrams or messages on each podcast.
Symbolism and all that.
Come on.
Listen though, I want to get into the character though, David Dabb. Who is he? What is his day job? How does he get his powers? How does that all start?
I wasn't just talking about like where did he come from, like the idea for him outside of that, like the actual inspiration outside of the comic.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's important. That's what I'll start with there first.
Yeah.
The inspiration came from me wanting to brand not only Black Bolt, not only the comic, but me as a whole. The Dab obviously is short for my last name,
right?
And got to
Dabney, right?
Booty Dabney.
I'm an idiot. I just put that together now.
So
I'm gonna tell that story before we end this too. I got it.
Yo,
I love my cousin, but there's a reason why I call him Booty Dabney.
No, what?
And he secretly calls me
Titty Rod.
Titty Rod.
Wow.
Yeah, it gets crazy. But
Robby, remember real quick,
Rider. If you really love somebody, you have to have an insider. If you don't, you don't love them.
All right, go ahead. My bad. Didn't mean to cut you off. Back to David Dabb. What's his day job like? What does he do? Who is he?
So David Dabb, like I said, he's comes from a family background. It's funny. His father's a cop. and
That's
the
interesting.
twist
That
of
is,
it all
isn't it?
to be able to have
So he
the-
understands.
It's ironic.
That I love that.
Mhm.
That's
It's
a brilliant
ironic.
idea.
That's why
He's
I
not just like anti-cop.
Right.
Right.
He knows that there's cops that
Get
are out there
outta
to be
here.
good. I love that.
So
My
Black
bad.
Bo's
Keep cutting me off.
father,
Mhm.
David Dabb's father, is a cop.
Right. He's a cop,
Get the
and,
fudge out
So
of
he's
town,
not
bro.
trying to defund the police and all that. He's trying to make the police better.
and it's messed up
Look
how
at that.
it ends up happening
That
just because
is-
of
that's
just
unique.
I love
just
this. I love this
yeah,
comic.
man.
This is my favorite comic.
I appreciate that, but
Yeah.
it's a twist of fate how even though he comes from a family like that, how the world gets twisted just because of the color of his skin. So
So he sees things on both
Sides.
perspectives.
yeah,
Not just like the police, but the color of his skin.
right.
That is
That's
so.
what the world needs right
Listen,
now.
I've been
That's
saying
the
it. Haven't I been
savior.
saying it this
That's
whole
the
podcast?
savior. That's the
Double-edged sword.
That's the savior the world needs right now. It's not someone to kill one side, but to bring both sides together.
Right.
But go ahead,
Now
keep
it's
talking
right.
about David Dabb, dude.
Come on, man. That's powerful. Bro.
So, but you know, just a little quick story on that too to finish off on that, man, because that his son was murdered. Him being a police officer, man, he becomes a drunk. It gets bad. The father ends up losing his life. That's all I'm gonna tell y'all.
Yeah,
He gets
that's-
real sick.
that's
Twisted.
That's compelling
It's
right
kind
there.
of fucked up.
That's
happened
enough
his
to
son.
leave me on the edge
And
of
then
my
he,
seat.
he ends up leaving the force, and he ends up drinking himself into a coma. Dies. After that, Black Bo gets real studious. Like I said, he's like a Bruce Wayne. He wants to find out. He wants to find out. The
We need a
secrets of the world.
cartoon and a movie.
So he wants to know why people
Wait.
why people are the way they are, why there's evil in the world,
Right.
why the world's divided. He wants to get to the bottom of it.
Right.
So what does he do?
So what he does is, man, he just becomes the top of his class and everything. He always had a fascination for archery as a kid, so that's probably why he ends up becoming what he becomes in the end when he finally becomes a Black Bolt. But on top of that, he like I said, he gets real studious. He's real smart, but like a detective in a sense, and he likes to discover things, find things out. So he's an explorer by nature. He graduates high school at the age of 17, goes to college at the age. Actually, he graduates high school. I'm sorry, early. He attends his first year of college at 17.
Wow.
Goes on a internship to become an archaeologist.
Ooh.
Ends up going over to Africa, and because the things that his professor was talking about, it drew him into it. So it started talking about ancient civilizations and stuff like that. So this is the main thing that I could talk about this without spoiling too much of the comic, but he goes over.
Please don't.
It's heavy on the Wakanda vibes.
I'll take every gem I can
Get
get.
heavy on the Wakanda.
Heavy
You
on
heard it
Wakanda.
here first.
Shout outs to Wakanda, Black Panther, all that.
So there's a little bit of the Indiana Jones aspect to it.
Yeah.
Where he's out there exploring.
It brings it to his day job.
Yeah,
So,
that's it. He's an archaeologist by day.
Yeah.
And he finds ancient stuff that might, influence him.
It won't even
Oh,
hit
man.
that. Yeah, he becomes that, and this is really his first encounter.
Or different artifacts that could.
Yeah. It gets
Yeah,
crazy. It gets
yeah.
crazy.
This is good,
You guys are getting there. You getting there. You scratching on the surface. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So he goes to a rumored lost civilization that his universities got the grant to go research. So they go find this ancient civilization that's located somewhere in modern day West Africa. Would be like Nigeria, right? They discover this ancient city. Oh man,
Which I have Nigeria in my blood, by the way.
Liberia area, yeah.
The modern day Nigeria, and they find this ancient civilization that was rumored to be just as prosperous, just as fertile, just as
like where the Nubians were at.
Yeah, just like Kemet, modern day Egypt.
Yeah, Egypt. The Nile Delta area. Yeah,
the Kush area.
Yeah, the
this
Kushites. Yep.
And in the story Black Bolt, this civilization on the other side of Africa was possibly even more advanced than the Egyptians.
Wow, really?
So, and it was.
Is that real or is that in the comic?
I was gonna say
It's
both.
both.
Technically, I was gonna say
I've heard historians say that there's a lost history of Africa that people don't know about.
Oh, it wasn't lost. It was erased.
And not Egypt.
And
Everyone knows about Egypt.
Right.
It wasn't lost. It
People
was
don't know
erased.
people don't know about like the Nubians and the Kushites.
Right.
And even Ethiopia,
Not
ancient Ethiopia, they found the Book of Enoch That's a Bible book that was
talking.
lost.
That was
for
lost.
thousands
You
of
talking.
years.
Now
you talking.
See, wait. All of that, the Book of Enoch, and what that kind of entails. That I know, like other Christians don't kind of talk. They don't like to get into that. Okay.
Yeah.
But that all relates to Black Book. That's all.
I figured.
We got that all in there. We got.
Really? I did not know
Yeah,
that.
we got
Listen,
it. So-
did you tell me about that?
Tune in.
I just thought of that.
Energy.
I started putting it all together when I heard about ancient artifacts and you feel me, him diving into his past and trying to.
Listen, if anyone who doesn't know about Enoch is a character in the Bible who never dies. He never gets killed or doesn't die of old age. He just is the only person who is, him and Elijah are the only two people in world history that just ascended to heaven and never died.
Never died.
So that's why Enoch is so compelling of a character. It's like, who is Enoch to be the only person that doesn't have to die?
There's so many rumors behind that, like, that's where you can go deep into that, the ancient astronaut theory and all that. It's crazy.
But that's what makes it so good, though. Is you're throwing out these deep,
trying to bring that mainstream. I'm trying to bring it mainstream. So it gets deep, man. So
that's why I said I need, because this is starting to sound like a modern day and down to earth kind of Jackie Chan cartoon spinoff. Mm-hmm. You remember he had the little girl. They had to find the talismans and look for different ancient art. Demons. So this sounds like a different type of time in which
animation is almost similar.
You're bringing. And he knows karate too, right?
Yeah. Martial arts is
martial arts.
When I tell you it's about to get crazy, y'all about to see some death-defying shit.
I need.
It's like, imagine a mixture between DC and Marvel, which is never. They're trying to get close to it by kind of more animating the DC characters a little bit more, but a mixture between the Japanese side, the Asian culture, and modern day American DC and Marvel. A mixture between those two styles.
Wow.
You have in DC and Marvel, these people were born with their powers, right? They get their powers by falling into toxic goo.
Yeah, you got the mutant aspect.
Mutant aspects.
Yeah, that's Marvel shit. Yeah.
Marvel goes with mutants. In DC, they're really the same thing, but DC calls them metahumans.
Right. They're the same thing.
They're the same thing. Mutants. So
Batman is just a normal person.
Right.
He doesn't have no powers.
And so is Black Bolt.
Okay.
But it gets deep.
I like that though.
But he has abilities.
So he's human. He's
human.
Just pure human. But he's got his life experience.
Well, we don't want to give too much away.
I'm gonna just get to a certain part of the story, and that everybody can know without it being too much. Too crazy.
Right.
So like I said, they find this ancient civilization, right? There's an accident, some type of cataclysm, earthquake, some type of cataclysmic event. The tomb that he's in, he somehow gets separated from the rest of the group. He gets isolated, tomb collapses, he's trapped inside. Everybody thinks he's dead. Years and years go by. In that meantime, he stumbled upon the ancient civilization, the underground chambers of the ancient civilization. Somehow, this whole area, like the size of a whole city, has been preserved perfectly.
Underground?
Underground.
Wow.
Has been preserved perfectly over time. The people are still there. The people that live there, they have been living for over thousands of years.
Wow.
And they have a group. I'm not going to say the name. They have warriors that are tasked to guard the entrance of this place so the outside world doesn't find them. That has no idea about them.
We this whole, what is that, 40 minutes? We haven't even mentioned Black Panther yet.
Right.
So does Black Panther have anything to do with this, like inspiration wise, or are you?
Oh, he said Wakanda.
Yeah, Wakanda vibes, right?
Oh, that's the same place, right?
Mm-mm. No, it didn't. I mean,
Wakanda's
like in Africa. This is also in Africa.
Right.
That I wanted to take, something similar and put a spin on it.
Yeah.
But it's like that is similar, but this is it gets crazy.
Because the only reason why I bring that up, I don't bring that up just to bring it up, just to throw it out there as like another black character. But it's like that could be you see a lot in comic books. The universe is all connected.
Right.
Whereas a superhero finds another superhero.
Oh, so if he goes mainstream, you're hoping to connect them.
That's what I'm saying.
Would you
be open to that?
That would be
crazy.
That would be
right.
I mean, it's Marvel.
I was about to say, excuse my French, that'd probably be his fucking dream.
Smack the hell out of me like, I don't know about what. Oh,
That'd probably be it.
So we ever do that shit.
So, dude, that would be like
that would be crazy.
That would be like a milestone.
I'd probably beat him if he didn't.
Listen, if that ever happened,
what?
We're sitting here right now, in Buffalo, New York, just 3 friends that grew up together. If that ever happens, man, that's gonna be the day. That's gonna be the day. It's gonna be the milestone where you're like, I made it.
Right.
And that's what I want to see happen. Dude.
Yeah, I gotta keep moving forward, man. This is the first time I was like, you know what, man. I was working like 2 jobs, bro, damn near 3, and it was like, bro, like I gotta do my passion, bro, and I'm about to push this shit all the way. Like, see, I quit one of my jobs to do this shit, bro.
For me,
and it's like I don't. My passion is, and there's now with modern day, bro. I'm following this other group. They're the #1 published selling books, manga, and shonen in America production company, Black Sands Entertainment.
That's the shirt you got?
Huh?
The shirt you got?
No, this is another brand, but they're independent. They're independent. They're an independent company, you know, producing their own content, own comics, and they raised like $1 million in a month.
Yeah, I was,
and that's all independent.
I was eventually going to ask you what platform, or do you have a publisher, or how you go about doing it?
As far as publishing, I'm in the works with other established people that have their own publishing agencies and stuff like that. I'm talking to them right now, but as of right now, it's going to be self-published unless something happens like in the next couple weeks or months.
Well, you got to make products for people to know who you are.
Exactly.
This is your first thing. This is your baby. This is your genesis. So listen, man, I got all faith in that this is gonna take off.
And I was gonna say, like, not to get like personal, but for me, it's more or less like I was there.
You kind of know. Yeah, he knows.
You guys are cousins, aren't you?
Yeah.
Like,
so we was like growing up playing Dynasty Warriors and shit like that. So he knows like this has always been me. Like,
yeah. This is like
so it's what I was meant to do.
Everybody knows I'm kind of like a weird or well-rounded person, depending on how you look at it. Mm-hmm. And my cousin Jamal kind of played a large part in my weird phase for a little bit because like he indulged it. It wasn't like I was just weird by myself. He was like, "Shit,
yeah,
I will get you."
Dude,
you feel me? Like,
and you know that's a good thing to bring up because people try to emulate other people and be like their favorite rock star or rapper. But like there's something beautiful about being your own person.
Come on,
just being original,
being who you are,
honest, and
be Black Bo.
And there's nothing wrong with that
black bullshit.
That's that black bullshit.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Be you. Do what you love to do. Like there's nothing wrong with that. It's valid. No matter what anyone tells you.
For real, you really touch on something.
You're valid, no matter who you are.
You know, and it's the crazy thing you said that, man. For the longest time, man, I felt like, you know, I was in a type of crowd that I didn't even belong in, bro. Like, I was sitting up there trying to, like, talk with people and impress people that I didn't really even have nothing in common with.
Do nothing back for you, right.
Right, yeah, I mean, like, I was just doing music before this. I had 0 passion. I kind of just did that because everybody else was doing it. And that's sad, bro.
Yeah, people, that's the thing. People fall into traps like that. Where they just do something because, you know, it was a family business or because their friend does it. Yeah.
But that's why, like, that's kind of why I reached back out to Neal, too, because I realized I had a passion for this.
You look to have conversation.
Yeah.
Like, you look to deep philosophical talk.
Yeah.
Like, listen, that's why I like this setup because it's like we're just at a bar chilling. Some of the best conversations people ever had at a bar. Sit with a friend over a beer. Or if you don't drink.
But, and to be honest, not to cut you off, it's crazy, and I say that to say this, the most meaningful conversations I've ever had has been drunk at a bar with a stranger.
That's what happens sometimes.
That's some deep shit.
No, because seriously.
But I'm gonna say that again. The most meaningful conversations I've ever had was at a bar drunk next to a stranger.
People call it bar therapy. You go to a bar, you get a couple drinks in you, you're sitting there by yourself, someone sits down next to you, and then you spill it all out there, and then they tell you some shit, and then you tell them some shit, and then that's it.
It normally happens. Listen, for me, it normally happens. Somebody come plop next to me, and they'll be there for a minute, and then I'll buy a drink, and they'll look at me for a second, like, and I know that they're gauging when to talk to me. I've been here plenty of times before.
Yeah.
So I'm just waiting for the moment, and then they break in. It might be something crazy. Oh, well, I'll buy you another one. What you drinking? Or it might start with, man, today's weather, or something stupid. And then it'll get into how they got, like, everybody has problems.
Yeah.
Nobody has somebody but everybody to speak to.
Yeah.
I'll say that again. Nobody has somebody but everybody to speak to.
Oh, nobody. The nobody.
We don't like talking to people closest to us about what's going on.
That's a good point.
Oh, yeah.
So the most open we'll ever be is with somebody who knows the least about it.
That's crazy.
Yo, that's deep, yeah, because I ain't telling my shit, bro.
On the off chance that we might not see each other again.
You know, we were talking about...
That's some wild shit.
During the break, we were talking about the digital age and how these kids are growing up with a cell phone in their hand.
Right.
And they're like cyborgs now.
Yeah.
That's an attachment of themselves.
Yeah.
The phone.
The phone.
That's part of their brain now. So now you got people joining Facebook groups with a bunch of 300 strangers in views, a group of 300 people,
right.
And you start talking about stuff and giving ideas of who you are, what you love to do, and no one even knows that you're part of that group except for you and the 300 people from other different cities that are strangers, but there's something about it that has a value to it. That's the good side of social media. There's also the dark side of social media where everybody's attached and nobody can understand that we're part of nature. We're just like this all day long. So it's a double-edged sword. It really is. Like, and like,
some deep shit, bro.
It really, dude. This is a.
See, I'm not going on it. It's like if this did, and I know it will, this podcast, if it did take off, and when it does, I'm not going on no talk show and exposing who I am. Quite frankly, the more exposure I get, the more money I get paid, the less you gonna hear me.
Oh, that's a fact.
Yeah.
Oh, what I plan on doing too, man.
But even right now, like you talk about, not to cut you off, you talk about people jumping on a group and exposing and talking about you.
Right.
It ain't too. The only thing you gonna hear from me, excuse my French, my baby mom's is pieces of shit. Except my second one, she flipped back and forth.
Wait, what?
That's the most personal you gonna get from me.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, bro, like that shit. I'm about to have it where you can't even reach me unless you
do
something beneficial to my business.
We're all that's early mid 30s,
and
right?
life.
Yo, listen,
not
us
just
three right here. We're in our early 30s, right?
Yeah.
That is a special age, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because we are young enough to know all about all this and be able to make a podcast and get all this stuff together, but we're also old enough to remember when there was none of this shit. When you didn't have a phone in your pocket. If you got lost in the woods, you were really lost.
You remember you had to pick up a phone and try to see what temperature it was and where the wind blows.
Yeah, dude. I mean, like, the world.
It's northeast. You got to pull out a compass. We're about north.
Like, I remember that.
I remember that. Like, we weren't, like, it wasn't.
Looking at the map.
It's funny because
fucking coordinates.
Us three got into high school around 2004, 2005. You know, graduated 2007, 2008. And that was the years where this change really happened.
That was when
Yeah, because that's when I really started fucking with Jamal. I got a mean streak. It's probably like 2 or 3 people throughout my life I fought when it became friends.
Yeah, that's what happens. This is a male thing.
You know how many damn fights I done had?
This is sort of a
I don't have a lot of fights.
We got our high school fight.
Yeah.
That's a boxer. Yeah, that's a fact too.
Yeah.
Jamal is a man of many talents.
Yeah, I tried.
He's a man of many talents.
Yeah, I tried. Well, yeah, man.
What time we at?
Oh, I never even looked at it.
Okay. Yeah, let's I don't know. I don't want to pass it, but dude, this was amazing. And we gotta stay linked because I want to follow you through this and help you out as much as I can.
Yeah,
and you know what I'm saying? Because
this is definitely really supporting it.
This is really intriguing me. And by the way, plug your everything, all your links and everything right now. Tell everyone where to go.
Shout out,
man. If you, the most important, my supporters, man. I feel everybody that has contributed to the growth of the movement so far. We're helping to fund the first launch of the first comic. You already know I appreciate you greatly. You already know. He knows how to make the magic happen. The most important link, man, hit that GoFundMe link. www.gofundme.com/BlackBoldComics.
Is that up right now? Yeah.
That is both for the short-term goal of getting the first comic done and the long-term goal. I'm gonna have that join up as long as I'm doing this. to hopefully fund movies.
Because you can't. Because listen, you don't have sponsor and a bankroll. You don't have loans. You're doing this at your house.
Yeah.
So listen, he needs the help, and if you like the ideas of this comic, contribute. Throw $5 if you have.
Don't stay this whole time and listen to the conversation and get intrigued and drop comments and act like you really support either our podcast, YouTube channel,
if you do that, we appreciate that.
We do, but bro, come on, support.
Throw 5 on it, throw 10 on it, 20, 50, 100.
That's my family.
Whatever.
I feel torn.
Throw $1.
Whatever you got is gonna go towards making this movement happen, making the dream happen. It's gonna go. It's gonna go, man.
And I'm wishing you the best.
We buy movie tickets, Netflix,
everything regarding this, man. To make
$1.50, $2.
Like I said, you got a box. I'm buying a box off the rip, so you got that right there.
You already know, man. You guys gonna be the first one to have it. But just hit my link. The link tree is gonna take you to all my links. Linktree.blackbowcomics.
That's it.
I'm a very silly person. Y'all know me. And I naturally just don't give a fuck a little bit. Neal, anything you want to say before I close out?
Listen, man, I can't wait for this to drop, and I'm excited about this show. Just how we got into so many different topics. But look, tie this all together. You're the man for that. You're a natural. You're the closing pitcher of the Yankees right now. Let's go.
We support Netflix. We support Jordan. We support the NFL and the NBA. But we overlook our community. We overlook our community entrepreneurs, our stores, the people who really keep us thriving and going. So please do support. Y'all know I'm all about love. Neal, I love you. Jamal, I love you.
You too, cuz.
This is one of my longest friends, and he became my friend again in our deepest, darkest hours.
Yeah.
And I love him nonetheless. We've seen each other in aspects of life a lot of people never will.
Yeah.
I love you, Jamal.
You already know.
It's my cousin. We weird together. Fuck it. We all unique. But at the end of the day, if you looking at this right now, if you listening to this right now, and you got somebody around you that you love, look to them and hug them and tell them you love them. Life is short. While it's here, spread love, because love will keep us together.